Hello, fans of Marvel Heroes and friends of my channel. Guess what? I'm back from San Francisco, and thank you so much for asking how my holiday and so on. And so I thought maybe to answer some of your questions, just probably start off from talking about my trip to US, and also, I mean, I've got quite a lot of items. Topics I like to talk about. Initially I wanted to make something more serious, like a guide or so on, because the new defense system is up. But I'm still suffering from jet lag. I can't really do anything serious, so I may as well do something very relaxing, like leveling a hero, while just playing this game, answering some of your questions. All right. So the very first question beside the how's my holiday was probably about the new defense system. So I'm going to, I'm going to make a guide on that. But I think before I get to the guide, I'm going to just talk a little bit about this new system here. Not going to be like serious guide, but rather to say just give you some of my first take on it. All right. So I'm also going to talk about a couple of things that I've been doing just right after the holiday into the game and so on, because I think a lot of new stuff going on, and let's talk about that. We are all heroes of fans of Marvel heroes, so it's never too tired to talk about Marvel heroes. And that's the boss. And what else I like to talk about? And also I like to talk about I think some of you have asked about how the leveling is like, and is there a better way to level, so on. So I'm going to just level this hero while playing this game, while share some of the tips when it comes to leveling, to also talk a little bit about Blade. I think that could be quite useful to some of you who may still consider playing him, and just because I've done the video early on, pre-order don't bother, so I think there are some differences, and I would like to just talk about those differences, if that's okay. All right. So, and also what else I'd like to talk about the next, what I'm going to do when it comes to the video guide and so on. So that is something I intend to do as well. Now, meanwhile, let's just let me just set something up first, because I think I had to not vaporize stuff, enough, because there's a lot. I've been collecting gear, and now I don't need to collect gear, so that's fine. And I'm going to do hang on a second. I think there's quite a lot of quests here. Demon and sorcerers, as well as some MM kind of like share quest. So I think let's talk about my holiday first, right? I mean, I just came back from a holiday. I'm still very much on my holiday mood. So what have I done? I've spent 2 weeks in America, me and my wife. I'm going to post our picture in my Google Plus profile. So I don't know, for those of you who are interested in just knowing a bit about where we have been and so on and so forth, some picture. I think welcome to sort of like check out my Google Plus profile. But probably I'll take a while to process any photo, because I'm kind of like always get distracted by a lot of things, and not really fast enough to get some of these things done. And my wife always get a little bit she's used to having a holiday, but the photo only come back a year or two later. So not that ideal. So we landed on San Francisco. We actually took a flight from Singapore, stopped by Hong Kong, because we took Cathay Pacific, and it's actually pretty. I don't know. I mean, I don't really like the airline, because I think I prefer Singapore Airline, which is, but then it is probably the cheapest way to travel to San Francisco back. Those time when we bought the ticket. So that was the whole reason basically. And my wife planned the whole entire itinerary. So she wanted to stay 3 nights, or I think 2 or 3 nights in San Francisco. That's what we did. Visited the Golden Gate, which is actually not gold in color. It's red in color. I didn't know. Right? I mean, I really didn't know. So that was interesting. And then after that, we also visited the Union Square, which is like the downtown of San Francisco. A lot of beautiful shops, and in America you can buy a lot of stuff. There's a lot of temptation when you're in America. Everything seems so nice, and a lot of things to buy. I don't know how some of you guys can survive living in America for so long. I mean, staying, I mean, actually, literally, you know, living in America, because there's so many things you could consider buying in America. It's crazy. It's crazy, but I mean, it's a beautiful country. I really enjoy. The last time my wife and I been to America was Chicago 20 years ago. So it is very interesting to sort of like see, you know, America after 20 years. I must say, I mean, of course there are differences. There are differences. There are quite a lot of differences when it comes to America. And now, but you know, I think it's a lot more cosmopolitan in a sense. I mean, maybe last time I wasn't paying that much attention, or maybe San Francisco is different from Chicago. I have no idea, right? So we spent 3 days there visiting around the San Francisco, you know, pier. I don't know what. I think there's a clam chowder there, very famous. I can't remember. I got it noted down somewhere, you know, on my journal. So. Yeah, I mean that was very fun, San Francisco. After that, we actually rented a car. At first, we rented a full size car. They call it in America, just like a normal car, which is like 4 wheels and, you know, full size. But because in our itinerary we wanted to visit Lake Tahoe as well as Yosemite, right? So the snow has arrived. So what happened was that we were unable to, like, you know, we advised not to use the car for. I know the game hangs, so just hang on. Okay, I restarted the game. I hope it's working. So where was I? I was talking about the trip to US, and we, because of the snow, we were advised to use to rent a 4-wheel drive instead. So, you know, the people in Hertz was very useful, very helpful, and sort of like got us 4-wheel drive. We couldn't find one in the website, so that's why I couldn't like rent one. But because then they say, well, you know, you could have it. At first, they advised me to get a Mercedes, which is sort of like way beyond my budget. But in the end, they got me a Jeep Compass. So I said, yeah, okay, that's cool. I can deal with that. So we pay a little bit more, but at least we got peace of mind because we are not really living in US. So I have absolutely no idea how driving in the snow like at all. So, you know, sometimes just be safe. You know, when you are not accustomed to the whole thing. So I said, okay, why not? You know, I will just like you know, get a 4-wheel drive, and it's wonderful. It's the first time in my life drive a 4-wheel drive. I think, you know, I talked to my friends who has lived in US before, some of my friends from Philippines, and he advised me to rent a F100 or whatnot. It's like a truck or whatnot 4-wheel drive, and I mean those are really big wheels, right? And but I think in the end I didn't really get to. I mean, there was some snow in Yosemite as well as the Lake Tahoe, but there's some ice on the surface. So, but I don't. I mean, I saw some cars actually went in okay without the chain. So I don't think I really needed a 4-wheel drive. But I guess it's just, you know, it feels a little bit more stable riding on the ice with a 4-wheel drive. I think that's the gist of it. So anyway, you know, Lake Tahoe is beautiful. I mean, my wife and I love nature more than anything else. I mean, more than shopping mall or whatnot. So, you know, we had a lot of fun in Lake Tahoe as well as the Yosemite, which is a very nice national park in the US, and we rented a hut that's quite far away from town as well. So we got to cook our dinner, cook our lunch, and kind of like breakfast and stuff like that. So I think you know, that is beautiful, and I really enjoy that kind of like hang on a second, why this guy doesn't die yet? Oh, that is a very far away totem. Okay, man. Wow. Come on, Kingpin. Yeah, Blade, man. Come on. Not enough spirit. What? Okay, that's it, done. So yeah, I mean, I was just saying that I enjoyed tremendously on the national park, and we got to hike around the snow. There's some snow, so it's useful to have the boots to sort of like do some hiking, and we got a snow boot as well, a chain as well. So the people from Big Five, I think there's a sports store from Big Five, they are very helpful. I mean, they've been helping us with the advice on what to use and so on. So, and those are pretty cheap, like 20, I mean, I think to me it's sort of like, because I come from Singapore, everything is so expensive. $20 for a pair of boots plus another $20 for chains. I thought it was pretty good deal. I mean, at least I can walk around in snow and ice and hope my game doesn't hang. Okay, it doesn't. So we had a lot of fun in Yosemite and in Lake Tahoe as well. When it comes to national park, I always wanted to sort of like, what should I say? I really wanted to see wildlife, right? Because like my wife and I visit Australia a lot. We love Australia because the national park there is like beautiful. You can see like wallabies or kangaroo or wildlife, real wildlife, right? In America, I think maybe because of winter, the only wildlife that I have really seen, or at least we have seen, was the like some deer. But I mean, I think in a way we're also quite happy not to see wildlife because they keep saying that there are bears around and you have to put your food away from there's some locker there in the car park. When you go for a trail, they have a car park that advise you to put all your food. Well, I think mandates you to put all the food inside in case a bear will come and yeah. So and then after that, I think my wife saw a signboard saying that in this area there are some mountain lion or whatnot. So I don't know, man. I mean, I think in a way, while we are kind of disappointed that we didn't see any wildlife, we're actually quite happy not to see any bear. So how about that, right? So yeah, I mean that is a beautiful trip to just experience that bit of like coldness and snow and stuff like that. And after that, we drove down to Los Angeles because I mean, well, it's not exactly close between the San Francisco and Los Angeles, so we stopped by like Lake Tahoe and so on. But I think my wife hasn't been to LA before. I've been to LA 20 years ago, but my wife hasn't. So I thought maybe she may be quite interested in seeing Hollywood thingy. But I think in the end we ended up enjoying the beach much better because we actually spent 2 days just going around the different kind of beach. Man, come on, man. This blade is not really. So we actually spend quite a lot of time like just enjoying the beach, like different kind of beach, like of course Santa Monica, stuff like that. And it's beautiful. The beach in America is just so beautiful. So that's something that we have done, and after that, we have to return from the Los Angeles back to San Francisco. It's a long drive, so my wife had decided to stop in a town called Cambria, and I really, really love Cambria. It was raining a little bit, but I think the town is beautiful. I mean, that the people are like very friendly. I think in general, America people are very friendly. They're very like keen to just talk to each other and can just strike a conversation quite easily, very easily, and sort of like just talk and it's great. And I mean we have and after that we came back to San Francisco on the Thanksgiving, the day before Thanksgiving and the Thanksgiving as well. Now of course Thanksgiving everything closed, so we ended up like searching the map like okay, where should we go, and then we ended up saying okay, San Francisco Zoo is like over here. Hang on a second. Where are they? And when it comes to San Francisco, I mean, the zoo actually open 365 a day, so a year, sorry. And so we ended up visiting a zoo, which is beautiful because my wife is a big fan of red panda, and there's actually 3 red panda in San Francisco Zoo. And I really like the zoo as well. I mean, okay, coming from Singapore, I think if those of you who have a chance to visit Singapore, I think we have a very nice zoo as well. And but when it comes to San Francisco Zoo, it's actually very I enjoy the fact that I don't need to walk a lot in order to see the animal. The animal are quite like the area is quite close to each other. So there's something that I personally enjoy a lot visiting the San Francisco Zoo, which was a very last minute itinerary. And after that, we visited the cathedral because my wife and I are Catholic. So unfortunately, the cathedral was closed, but the San Francisco Cathedral is huge. Like everything in America, it's just America size. Is that everything is so huge, humongous. So yeah, and then I didn't know. Okay, so for someone who are not natively born in America, I mean, I don't really have this concept of Thanksgiving or Black Friday, right? But in fact, Black Friday is actually one day after Thanksgiving. I mean, okay, it's so obvious right now to me, but as someone who's not really staying in America, it's actually not that obvious, and it's kind of cool because Thanksgiving we ended up on there's supposed to be a good like a sales on Black Friday, right? Black Friday, right? But they actually some shops start to open on Thursday instead, like the Macy in Union Square in San Francisco. So we ended up going to Macy again. It's one of our favorite mall, and I don't know why we queue up. I think in retrospect, I don't think we need to queue up for anything. You just need to wait for around 20 minutes. You can get in, but I don't know whether some of you can relate or not. But those who are from Asia probably can relate. I'm from Singapore. In Singapore, everybody loves to queue up. So when we saw a queue, we say, okay, half an hour. Shall we queue? Shall we not queue? So we ended up queuing to get into Macy, and in the end, not buying anything. I know it's kind of a disappointment in some sense. But yeah, I mean, my wife and I, like I said, we are into nature more than just shopping around. So it's not something that we actually, we kind of enjoy the atmosphere. Like everybody just go crazy. I mean, the tourists, like we've been outlet, man, the tourists are crazy. I mean, I'm from Singapore. I'm a Chinese, but doesn't mean that I'm from, China I'm not really from China, right? So, but I think some of the tourists from China, it's like they're carrying like, I don't know how many Coach handbags, like 20, 30 or 50. I don't know, man. It's just scary looking at how they shop. They're not really even thinking, just grab the same thing, So anyway, I don't know, man. Maybe it's good to sell back home. I don't know. But yeah, so we had a lot of fun, and for those of you who may want to think about next holiday, maybe San Francisco is somewhere that you should consider. It's a beautiful city. All right, so I think enough of my trip. If you have further questions, we can always talk about it offline. Because I tend to be very passionate talking about things I love, right? So as you know right now. So right now is my trip to San Francisco. Okay, so that is all that I would like to talk about the trip. Now, let's talk business now. Let's talk about the more serious part of the topic here, which is the new defense system. So I read about it when I was in San Francisco. I was reading about it. I was so excited because I think this whole thing evolved quite a few times, and it actually ended up a lot better than I would imagine. Now, of course, I had a lot of fear as well, but so what happened was that when I came back to Singapore, the first thing I wanted to do is to analyze all these defense numbers. So I picked up my favorite character, like Spider-Man, like Captain America, like Black Widow, Psylocke, every one of them crunch all the numbers. So I spent jet lag, right? Spent I think 4 or 6 hours just punching in a number, trying to understand the what if scenario and so on. And I wanted to create a guide as well, but I think like I said, I'm jet lag and I'm just a little bit too out of my element, because it's just too tired to think. But I have some ideas, so I'd like to share with you. And so basically, I think there's a lot of confusion somehow in terms of the total dodge and total deflective rating, because the terminology itself is very, very confusing. I've actually feedback to the forum, asked them to change this, because it is not the total dodge. I mean, people will take it like, oh, my total dodge rating is 50%, so my dodge is 50%. Well, it's not. It's actually a multiplier to your dodge rating that suffer from an intense diminishing return, whereby you end up probably not having as much as you think in terms of the crit chance increase. So now, I'm going to create a guide on that, but for those of you who are interested to sort of have a I know some of you are looking for guide somewhere, just a band-aid for you to understand how, where is Venom, by the way? Okay, you just get Venom to just understand how the whole thing works. The only thing that you need to think about are just 3 things here, right? Just the 3 things that you need to think about here. The very first thing is the reduction, right? Wow, what on earth is so many of them, man? All right, and what I've got my legendary quest done already. I didn't know about it. And time to reroll, by the way. People ask me for tips and never do story. Well, actually, I think you could do story. I'm just too lazy to do story. LQ. So yeah, let me just get this sorted. So there are only three things you need to worry about here now when it comes to a new kind of like let me just loot something here. When it comes to the new thing, so the first thing you do need to worry about is something called the damage reduction, right? So that is like that if you don't know the mathematics behind it, so that is the first thing you need to work towards is to get a high damage reduction, or at least a reasonable level whereby you can feel comfortable with it, right? So that is the first thing you need to think about, the damage reduction here, right? So the first thing you need to think about is that. The second thing you need to think about is your dodge rating, right? Because that is like, for instance, I have 6.6% to dodge, because dodge will dodge 100% that incoming damage, ignore all, right? So dodge. And then after that, you have the deflect rating as well, which I have 0. So you must know all these numbers, right? So these are the three numbers that you need to worry about, because your damage reduction only, say in this example, because I'm still leveling, is 32%. But actually, in effect, the damage reduction is higher than that. Now, this doesn't tell you, because effectively, when you are able to dodge, for the 6% of time you can dodge, you avoid 100% of damage. So your effective damage reduction on average is actually higher than the 32%. Right? So if you are keen to learn a little bit more, I'll come out a guide later for you. But what I can really share with you right now is that forget about the total dodge rating. Like I got 6. Like total dodge rating is 28%. So my dodge is 28%. No, it's not. It's basically your dodge is only 6.6% after taking into consideration of the 28% total dodge rating. Right. So this is a multiplier to the dodge rating number itself that is already incorporated. Why do you need that? It's for you to do what if scenario. So for example, what if I'm using a dodge customer fix? Then whatever rating that you have in your costume, multiply that by 28% or 1.28 will then add on to the dodge rating. There's a formula in the forum game guide forum, which I also share with you in the guide later. Then you know what is the effective change in the dodge that will also give the effective kind of reduction. So I won't go into too much of it, but what you really want to take home message is that aim for a high enough damage reduction, and then after that pay attention to what your deflection rating is and also dodge rating, because those will help you to increase your effective reduction. So that is all I would like to talk about in terms of the whole reduction thingy, and and probably when it comes to maybe some quick tips on how to, where's the Manito? After the holiday I don't even know where things are. So when it comes to the actual trade-off itself, so a lot of time you like to, why do you want to know all these numbers? You not to do trade-off, right? Like do I want to do this, or do I want to do that kind of thing? So in a way, if you have a level grade 69 unique, right? You should have the maximum is 27% damage reduction from slot 2 to 5. All right, so so what it really means is that you could somehow get 27% from the unique gear itself. All right, just the unique gear itself. Then depending on your defense, depending on dodge, depending on deflection, depending on your total here and there, that is more the multiplier from your team up gear as well as your passive. Then you have you bump that 27% up to a certain percent, like maybe 30, 35%, 40%, 45%, whatnot, right? So that is in a sense what it really means when it comes to like when it comes to this whole trade-off is that you should be able to work on all these like so-called stats and to give you the whatever damage reduction you want. So that is the ideal scenario. I've run through some numbers. I'm just sharing with you my preliminary result. So it's nothing definitive yet, just preliminary, because just in case you want to know right now, it's like, how do I do trade-off between each one of them? So I've gone through a mathematics, and I think from what I've seen, each hero is you can look at your deflect rating, the defense rating, as well as the dodge rating, right? So if you must have a costume that that you want to roll one of those stats, like either be as dodge or be as deflection, then make sure you choose the one that you have like close to zero, because you want to be outside the diminishing return, because there's no point in rolling the costume affix for something that you are not like. Okay, so for example, like some heroes that do not have a lot of like deflection, or then if you roll a costume affix that has deflection, maybe it makes sense, right? Because wow, this is like crazy. Blade, man, I don't know what happened to my blade. I really don't know. So disappointing. Anyway, whatever. So yeah, I mean, so where was I? Yeah, so if you must choose a costume affix, then choose one that the number you don't have. So for example, if you look at my blade, assuming that I want to do something about him, I think he's more of like a defense and dodge hero, doesn't have a lot of deflection. So if I must have a costume like a defensive costume, I may consider deflect, because if you have a very high deflect, then at least you are not at a diminishing return, so that gives you a little bit more model. Now that is ideal situation, right? But in reality, when you roll for health, you get a double-digit increase in your base health, right? So if you have 24,000 health, all right. So if you have 24,000 health, then very likely you may have like another 4.5. If you're looking at only 90%, right? You're not even looking at my blade is not really performing as I want it to be. Just disappointing. Anyway, so I mean, where was I? Hang on, I'm so distracted by this fight because like it's taking so long. So you always have to think about if you use a health costume, if your base health is about 24,000, you get a health costume about like 90% of the roll, you probably would get like 4.5k already. Now that is more than that's like maybe 18 or 18.5 to 20% increase in your base health. You will not get the kind of damage mitigation from the dodge, from dodge or deflect from the costume affixes. You will not. So basically, you either take 20% more health, or at least increase in one attribute that absorb more damage, or you take a single digit, like a low single digit, to reduce damage. So I know, but of course, the buffer that you have to sort of like absorb damage will have to replenish by either your health regen gear as well as your med kit. So you may end up having to regen a lot of those missing buffer, versus if you could reduce the number of damage intake, that is also quite good, right? So in the end, I mean, from I have all my 50 odd hero, they have they each have a health costume, but I realize that sometimes I'm a bit overdoing it. So I think moving forward, it's good to have like a mix of like health versus the the stat that you do not have, because if you do not have like the flat, Blade is a bit different because Blade needed health, I think, because he lose health when it's hit starve, but for some hero like Magic, in the end, laggish. So for Magic, in the end, I actually mixed some of the. I think I had let me see what I rolled for Magic. Let me see, Magic. Where's my Magic? Level 1 Magic. So yeah, I didn't have the other costume. So and the so I actually end up like rolling a different kind of like affix to it, just to make her more awesome in terms of damage mitigation, right? So it's something that you could consider when it comes to this sort of thing. And when it comes to trade-off between like enchantment, like if you like to enchant your slot, so is it going to health? Is it going to be dodge? Is it going to be like defense? I can probably safely tell you that the defense is much better than dodge. It's still better than dodge. right? Because defense is a reduction for all cases. Dodge is that you have to defend, depends on dodge chance. And it may or may not be something that great, right? So, but I went through mathematics. I mean, preliminary result shows that I should focus on the Juggernaut. Don't want to die on him. And so preliminary result shows that I should focus on the let me save this guy, poor guy. Come on, man, get up. Right, okay, good. So yeah, but then if I am to choose, I would not pick I definitely would not. Another guy died. What's up with this, man? Really? What is this hero? Magic? She can't be that weak. It's magic. Oh, anyway. I don't know. I have no idea. My magic is still level 1. So, but I will still enchant on health, right? And so, so I would say when it comes to all these trade-off, I would what I would do is that I would still go for health, and then if I have the luxury to if I manage to get a very high roll for the missing attribute, I may keep it for just to experiment on it. But I think health is still fine. I would say I wouldn't change all my costume into like dodge just because we have the new dodge, right? So I don't know whether it's useful or not, but it's just some preliminary kind of like a thought to share for some of you who probably are quite anxious about am I doing the right thing or wrong thing. So what I say is that if you status code, go for health and whatnot, then yeah, I mean it's still fine. If you are in a situation whereby you need to like say whether you should do trade-off between a ring that has dodge or a range that has deflect, which I would not take either. But say if you must choose between the gear between the two, then pick the one that you have the lowest value in terms of dodge rating or deflect rating, because that will benefit the most. There's a heavy diminishing return. So it's really no joke. It's really heavy. It's heavy. All right. So yeah, so I hope that's useful. At least I get you guys thinking first before the get you guys thinking. And the Blaze signature is actually quite decent. I can pop it like 3 times. All right, so that is all I would like to talk about when it comes to the new system. All right, so now do I like the system? I actually find it. I mean. Do I like the system, right? So I think it gives you a little bit more to think about, and it's always good for people like me who create guide, because then now every hero video I can add another new session for you guys to watch. Like what is the defense rating for this hero? What should I do with him or her, right? So, but when it comes to the actual thing itself, I mean, what can you do, right? I mean, are you going to, or maybe you would, I don't know. Are you going to collect 2 sets of unique? One set has the maximum white stat, like all these damage reduction white stat, right? All these white stat, get a maximum of it. Because when it comes to places like Cosmic Patrol, does your DPS really matter when there are many people around? I mean, I don't want to say this public, but it is all right? I mean, there are. I mean, I don't mind carrying people in a Cosmic Patrol environment anyway, because I mean, just for fun, right? I mean, so so if you want like to survive better in a Cosmic Patrol, not necessarily would help you in a Cosmic Gate, by the way, because you need DPS in Cosmic Gate. You could potentially keep a set of costume whereby you get the maximum damage reduction, 27%, right? So I mean, that's something that I would think about when it comes to this kind of new thing. But other than that, when it comes to rolling affixes or trade-off and so on, it's just, I don't know, man. There's not much thinking behind. It's not like I come from a World of Warcraft environment whereby everything is so mathematically driven. Everything become like just you have to hit all the sweet spot. I think this game, in terms of balance itself, is not really there. So there's still a lot of. I think a lot of you have experienced some heroes are having a much better life in a Cosmic Patrol compared to other, even after the so-called Cosmic so-called new defense system. So, you know, this game is not going to be so precise that you have to hit the right sweet spot on the defense. I don't think so. I don't think you need to. So, it is an interesting thing. I'm quite happy that I don't need to redo everything. So, that's all I want to talk about on new defense. I'll have a guide, so just stay tuned for it, I would say. I need to view my buff, by the way, because, like, you know, this blade has a buff that I need to take care of. And there is a boss wave, but just too far away. I'm lazy. What can I do? Okay. So leveling. Some of you ask about what's the best way to level. Now, in fact, to be honest, I'm probably one of the worst person to ask about that, because I don't really. Leveling to me is like enjoyment, right? So I don't want to rush the whole thing. I don't like. So, but if you really want to rush the whole thing, I think story reward a lot of like. XP these days. So, you know, at least do the mandatory one. Those like really and do it at your level, because as you level up, the experience level become very little. Like one XP. I mean, you know, what's the point, right? So do it when it's at your level, and and I would say just, you know, if you really care about fastest way to level, I think story is really probably the way to go. But the way that I do it is that I'll start in Hollow Sim until I can hit the legendary quest, because I need the Olimar. You know, I hate Olimar farming, but I don't mind leveling. You know, being rewarded with the Olimar. You know what? I've been playing this game for so long. I haven't assigned the thing for a while. Oh man, should I do some? Never mind. No wonder I'm kind of weak right now. Maybe it's just blade is strong. Maybe I don't know. It's just I'm just a noob, not adding any power to him. So I usually just Hollow Sim until I can do legendary quest, and after that I'll do legendary quest to. Oh, no wonder. No, I'll just do legendary quest to gain Olimar as well as XP. Right. So that's what I do. That's what you've been seeing me doing legendary quest after legendary quest. Curse is the next one. All right. So, and the. And I don't really have a lot of, like, you know, I think the more heroes you have, the more like XP synergy you'll get. And always choose a Cyclops synergy 10% XP if you can have. Always equip a medallion if you have, because it has a XP plus XP as well as plus intelligence that give you XP. And the that's all really when it comes to leveling. You know, nothing really a lot to really talk about. And meanwhile, while we are heading to the next bit of the video, maybe I should just take some time, if you don't mind, for me to pump in some points here, so that my hero is a little bit stronger. But so far doesn't seem to be so. Blade. Okay, so how do I enjoy Blade? I mean, I was actually thinking, should I play Magic or should I play Blade? So I asked my guild. My guild said, yeah, go for Blade, because Magic is still new. May tune up. That's actually my line. But so, like, you know, when it comes to advising people, it's easy to say. When it comes to advising myself, it's always like, should I not, right? So I think, I mean, you know, I wanted to really play Magic, but you know, I think I heard that her summoner build is still lagging behind. I really, like, you know, I will only play summoner, right? I mean, I think. So I'm gonna wait, and meanwhile I'll just play Blade. And I don't know, man. This costume is just so 80s. It's so, I don't know, man. But the other one is so dark. I can't really see anything. So. Anyway, I can't say I enjoy Blade. I must. I mean, he has some interesting mechanic, but I can't really say I enjoy him. I don't know why. He's still something that I think even in my pre-order don't bother, I wasn't that fascinated by Blade, and I don't think that has been changed in any way. But I mean, he's less fragile for sure compared to, say, you know, during the test center. Of course, you can easily drop his health to 0 quite fast. But I think now they fix it somehow, and has a more meaningful kind of like a serum kind of gameplay, which is better. I think he is definitely better to play compared to test center. Definitely, Garcidian has listened to our feedback. Come to play. Maybe he has watched my video. No, of course not. So yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I don't really. I don't know. I think a lot of you may be a Blade fan, so no offense, but I really yeah. I mean, I'm just so about Blade right now. I think maybe he'll become better in the end game. more exciting in the end game, but it just just I don't know what. Or maybe it comes to a point whereby the hero is getting a little bit I hate to say this because I always tell people that all the heroes in Marvel Heroes are different. I mean, it is still different, but it is coming to a point whereby the difference doesn't really justify or doesn't really outshine the similarity between different classes. Put it this way, right? So that I mean, no one play like Blake in a sense. Blake Shelton. Blake, no one plays like Blake, I must say, because the whole thing about losing health and kind of thing, and there are 3 ways to lose health, one way of not to lose health, a specialization. I mean, there's no hero play like him, that I must say, but doesn't make him I mean, because there's a lot of movement is still very similar to what I've already experienced in 50 other heroes. So it comes to a point whereby, it doesn't excite me that much when it comes to Blade. So I don't know. Let me know if you are a Blade fan. I mean, how do you like Blade so far? How do I play Blade so far? Am I a noob? And probably a noob somehow. Okay, don't tell me. Well, I mean, it's fine. I take positive criticism very well. Actually, you know what? It's a lie. No one takes positive criticism well. No, actually, I do. All right, so. And if you have noticed, I actually toned down the sound of the game because I think one of you has complained that it's getting too loud in the background. So I don't know. I toned it down by another 5%. See how it goes. And my Blade is still not. Man, I mean, this is really slow. I don't know what happened, man. Is it Blade or is it just me? All right. So that's all. Yeah. So I mean that's probably towards the end of this whole episode, and probably the what's my next one? Go back to MM. So probably just to wrap up what is going to happen next, because I think a lot of you follow my channel. Thank you so much, and would probably like to know a little bit more, like what is the next guide? What are you going to talk to us about? Certainly, it's a new defense system. I'll do up some nice slide and some graphic kind of like description to just explain to you. Some of you who are not really into mathematics still want to enjoy the game, like know what you're doing, just play like a pro. Yeah, come to the right place, because I'm just here to help you like a pro. No, I mean help you to be a pro. All right. So that is part of it. Next one. I will create a guide on Blade for sure. Because I mean that is I mean I don't even know. Okay, so I will create a guide for Blade that is on my plate, and I would like to do a guide on Magik as well if I get to level her up. And last but not the least, of course, I know a lot of you has been asking when am I going to revisit the Rook guide, because a lot of heroes has come up since the last Rook hero and team up and villain has come up. So I'm going to relook into all the Rook borrow power and see whether or not I should change my range guide to something else. So I will do that for you guys. And I think some of you have asked for Cyclops guide as well, so I'll see what I can do. I'll do my best for you guys. I mean I don't know. Ooh, wow. All right, man. Signature time. No ultimate yet. All right. So yeah, I mean those are my plan, and let me know what else you guys want me to do. And I think some of you have asked me if I'm going to do another video on the what is it called, the mega review, because now it's about 53 heroes. So I did 147, 150. So is there another one on the? Okay, so reality is that I don't think the game has changed too much. Like last time was changing a lot because of all these 52 review and so on and so forth. But I think it has been slowed down quite a lot. I mean, I don't know whether you guys have feel it or not, but this game development-wise has slowed down since I don't know whether I should say this or not, but since they have reduced the headcount, and somehow I think this whole development has suffered somehow. I don't know, or maybe they are busy doing the 2016. So I mean, I probably would do another one, and because I want to see a new defense system how it works. I probably will be doing another mega review, but not so soon, right? Not so soon. I'll do it once, probably maybe give it another couple months to get things sorted. But yeah, I mean, that is all I would like to talk about. And as always, thank you for subscribing to this channel. Thank you for spreading this channel across. For those who are also Marvel Heroes fans and need some inspiration on what to do and so on and so forth. And thank you for recommending the channel for them. Please continue to do so. And let me know what you guys want to talk, want to hear about. I'm always keen to sort of like interact with you in game and out of game on YouTube as well. So till next time we see each other, goodbye, enjoy, and I think there's a lot of loot right now. And yeah, have fun, bye.